Hello gang, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel and we're back with an ABX video this time. Last time I did ABL and felt like a lot of people, had to ask stuff. A lot of comments happened. They asked me about ABX also in the comments and in my social media. So the engagement on YouTube and the algorithm boost my video as it seems. So ABX seems the best way to go through that and explain you more for the characters you need to build for both days, ABL and ABX, and take advantage of one character for multiple days and get multiple rewards. So let's go as the last time we did in ABL video through all the days, all the round 14 rounds day by day, which is the best characters to do damage and supporting your team with lead and support and the best CTPs, of course. I'm gonna drop a list down below in the description that I'm gonna include all the ABL and ABX videos I have done for the gameplay of some characters and for generally all the list I have for Fracture, Snare, Shock or whatever. I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna make it because I feel like people want to play ABL and ABX. And also where Jin gonna land on this ABX meta, we have to find out. Before we go through the list and the number 10 of the list, I want you to make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, smash the like button, and also comment down below in the comments what's your next character you're gonna drop in your account. You're gonna build it tier 3 or tier 4 for ABX and ABL after these two hot lists I drop. Okay, let's go through the list. For the first round on Alliance Battle Extreme, we have the Blast Villain Day, the one I forget from ABL by the way, but yeah. And the best characters for this day, let's go through that. For this day, our best DPS is Mephisto, a native tier 3, and he is really good with CTP of Rage or CTP of Judgment, Mighty or Brilliant. The best support for him is Cyclops with his villain uniform, and also another support is Klaus that provides you critical damage 30%, so it's easier for you to cap Mephisto stats because Mephisto is a native tier 3. An alternative for this day and a really good DPS is Iron Man with CTP of Rage and his superior uniform. I'm doing like 400k less than Mephisto, but still you can utilize him for both hero and villain days. So Mephisto is a luxurious option, but he is the best at the moment. Okay, let's go to round 2. Round 2 is the no restriction day, and it's the first round that the meta swap completely, and let's see why. The team used to be the best was Loki TVA with CTP of Raids, Black Cat as a leadership. Coach here leadership is really unique, cancelling the roars without even cancelling them, and Valkyr it provides the best support buff. But now, what's happened? Black Bolt came into the game as a tier 4 and his damage is out of your mind. The best supports to use for him is Morgan Le Fay and Valkyr, because he's utilizing his own leadership. He doesn't really need Black Cat, and the buff he's getting from Valkyr and Morgan Le Fay is way strong, so he's becoming the easiest way to 12 million as a tier 4 here, and the CTP of Rage, of course. For the most characters, CTP of Rage is basically the best for ABX, but for some characters there is some alternatives like Mephisto I mentioned before, so I'm gonna drop it. For here, the insight is really hard to choose where to put it, and personally, I don't feel like there is a reason to use the CTP of Insight. It's gonna be easy to cap, but because I utilize Morgan Le Fay as her own DPS with Rage and Valkyrie in the same time, I don't have any insight to tell you to put here. In my opinion, Loki is a cheaper option and Black Cat is the best guy, the best girl basically, to carry your CTP of Insight. So yeah, let's go to round 3. On round 3, the best, the characters you need to use is Universal Superhero, and the meta here is pretty stable. Long time Wanda with her newest uniform from Doctor Strange to it's the best guy to use here. C is best to use here with CTP of Raids, and Ghost Panther and Overeater is the best supports to use for Universal Day here, Universal Hero Day. Of course, always there is Thor, and his damage is pretty similar as a tier 4 with Scarlet Witch. You can get advantage of the strikers and have all the days to cancel the roar. But Wanda is the easiest character to use, and in my opinion she's still the best because you can use her in both this day and the female Universal Day. So yeah, she's 2 out of 1. In the same time, Thor just provides you this day and the same damage. So yeah, let's go to round 4. Round 4 is Combat Superhero, and that's a place for 3 tier 4, so it's gonna be hard. The best team up for this day is Moon Knight as DPS, M'Baku leadership with his special support he has, and Taskmaster as a support. Taskmaster provides double support for Moon Knight and M'Baku with his artifact. We took it free yesterday, and the tier 2 ability and the leadership provides to Moon Knight a lot of buffs. And this is the best way to utilize Moon Knight. She-Hulk also provides a good leadership, but M'Baku it's better, a bit better, so this is the best. Of course, you can use instead of Moon Knight, you can use Venom and Captain America. You could have similar results, but Moon Knight is the easiest way to utilize in this day with CTP of Rage or Mighty Rage. He is the best for this day, and he provides you a clear shot for World Boss Legend also with a CTP of Energy and a bit less score in ABX. So you can use him with an Energy, you can use him with Rage, and he got the Weapon Master ability. He's really nice, and I vote Moon Knight after Venom and after Captain America, let's say. So let's go to number 5. On to round 5 is Blast Male, which is there is a lot of characters, but one is the best long time, and my boy tier 4 Iron Man is the best guy here, and the fact that you can utilize Cyclops on both this day and in the day after, and in the villain and the Blast Villain Day, sorry, it gives him another point for Cyclops, you know, because you can use him 2 times. Iron Man here with the CTP of Rage Signs, and Coulson provides you the Guardian critical rate that miss from Iron Man Tony Stark. So this is the best team up, and the second best team up you could say is using Ancient One leadership, Cyclops as a support, and Mephisto. But that's the number 2, and the number 1 is Iron Man. As a number 3 I could say Doctor Strange, but it's way behind because Iron Man can cap easy peasy as it seems for really good players. I'm not doing that. I'm doing like 11.3 or something like that. But yeah, if I can do 11.3, people can cap for sure. For round 6, we have another change in the meta, and that's on Supervillain Universal. And let's go to see the team up. And yes, you guessed right, Black Bolt is back to the business here, and he's himself giving the leadership giving himself 65% basic attack is really important, because now you can take advantage of both Morgan Le Fay and Proxima on your character. So the damage he's doing is able to cap easy peasy as a tier 4, and he just replaced Loki. Loki was able to be utilized here with this team up or Proxima instead of Morgan Le Fay, and he was people was capping also. I was doing like 11.2 also here, but yeah, he was the meta for long time, Loki, but Black Bolt seems to take his place, and Black Bolt is the number 1 here. Easy peasy, 12 million, a lot of people doing it. I don't. Number 7 is Speed Superhero, another swap in the meta. For like 6 to 11 months, I'm not sure. Makari used to be the meta here, but now Black Widow took her place with her tier 4 having the strike ability and swapping between the cancelling of the roar. For this day, C is the best, and for the day that you can use heroes and male and female also, the best leadership is Nicholas Fury, but Wave is another alternative if you can use here for both days. You know, don't build Nicholas Fury and have Wave. It's pretty much the same because we can take advantage of here in the speed female day, which is in the rounds after. Of course, the second best character is not Makari, and yes, Makari dropped like third place. And the second best team for me, it's Suri. Suri can take advantage of the CTP of raids perfectly for ABL and ABX, and I already told you her value in ABL, and yes, it's the second best here. I'm using her, I'm doing like 11 million ABX and 4.8, 4.9 ABL, which is huge for Shuri. Of course, Black Widow can cap easy peasy. I can't because I don't have here tier 4, but yeah, I've seen a lot of people doing it, so it's easy. Now, on round 8, it's the combat supervillain, and that's really a weird day because there's a lot of characters, but you need to pick the one that can provide you more, what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see the teams. Okay, the number one team here, it's Namor, Taskmaster, and Titania. Titania provides a specific buff for characters with a strong ability, and Namor is one of them, so she provides him 60% all attack, basically physical attack from her leadership, and 20% from the strong ability characters she has in her passive. Taskmaster also buff him, and Namor is one of the characters that you can utilize him with a mighty CTP of Judgment or Judgment, just the normal one, or Brilliant, and raids, and having similar results. Perhaps Brilliant raids and Brilliant Judgment, if you compare this, Brilliant raids gonna win, but still. And what I was talking about previously was like, if you choose to build Namor, you have to consider that you can't really use him on ABL day, where you can use combat supervillain but human. Basically, let me see. Yeah, basically you can use him for ABL also, because the day is supervillain combat. So with having Namor, you can get 2 days on round 8, you know, one before the reset and one after, and in the same time have a character for ABL. What I'm having, it's not that, but in my account also as a tier 3, he's doing similar damage with my tier 4 Carnage. So the first place here goes to Namor, and the second place here could go for my boy Carnage, and the value of building Carnage PvE, it's big, even if he's really good for PvP. Why that? Because you can use him here in the same days that you can use him as Namor, but in the same time you can use him in ABL combat human days. So you can take advantage of him 3 days in ABL and 2 days in ABX. So he got a lot of value, but Namor's damage is way better. Even as tier 3 level 80, you have similar damage with Carnage tier 4. But that's another information I just dropped here because I love my boy Carnage and I want him to show up in this list. So round 9 is repetitive. It's the no restrictions day, no requirements. So as you guessed, yes, Loki used to be the meta, but now is Black Bolt. And let's go to the next one, which is Universal Superhero female. So let's see. This is the best team up, and as I told you, Wanda can provide you the Superhero Universal Day and the Universal Female Day, and that gives her the first place in my opinion here in these 2 days that they are similar. Phyla-Vell is the best support for her, and also Captain Marvel, cause she got this team up with Phyla-Vell, provides you 5% energy attack. This is the day that could swap in the meta in a couple of days, because Jean gonna come into the game. Oh, Jean is not superhero. Okay, wrong. Perhaps Jean with her old uniform. We have to wait and see about that, but at the moment this is the best character to use. Alternatively, you can use Thena. Of course, Thena is a bit behind than Wanda, but Wanda gets the first place, 100% first place, and Wanda can be utilized with CTP of Judgment or a Raid. Raids is kind of better, but Thena can only be used with a Raid. This insight here goes to Philavel because she is a support and she needs it to provide you in this day more buffs. So yeah, let's go to the next round. The next round is Super Villain Female, and that's another day that the meta swapped and no one understand that it was like out of nowhere, but yeah, this day has swapped recently. In this day, for a long time, more than 2 years, Supergiant was dominant. Supergiant was the best character to use with the CTP of Judgment and the support of the leadership of Black Cat and supports like Proxima or Mystique. You were really cool, you were doing a lot. You had to do some jumping around with Supergiant, and Supergiant is the only character that you can't really use here with the CTP of Rage. You need to use CTP of Judgment for ABX, so that makes here some kind of unique. But recently the best team up feels to be this one. And why is that? Everyone was thinking that Morgan Le Fay is just a PvP character, just a support character, but believe me guys, Morgan Le Fay is out of your mind good at DPS. You can go through the stage, just press 1 to 5 without even looking, close your eyes, press 1 to 5 and score more than Supergiant. Believe me, with just a CTP of Rage and that build, I'm able to outscore my Supergiant, and I was like, what? For that, Puppet Titan is another YouTuber. I was looking for Morgan Le Fay showcase back in the day when I did the tier 3 showcase for Morgan Le Fay, and I found a video of his, and I saw the rotation, and the rotation was kind of weird, and he had a video that say playing Morgan with rotation and play Morgan randomly pressing buttons. And it was really fun to see this video, but it worked. Playing here with rotation did for my account 10.8, and playing here without rotation I did 11.3 with here. 11.3 with almost no build, no artifact, just a CTP of Rage and level 5 and level 6. So Morgan Le Fay, in my opinion, is an absolute beast, and she deserves to be in this list and replacing at last Supergiant, which is so annoying playing and jumping around to do the proper Awaken skill. So yeah, let's go to the next round. Sorry for that, but I was getting choked by my own split, and yeah. Okay, let's go to round 12. In round 12 is the thing I told you before. Black Widow is the best, as I saw you, and another alternative is Shuri with wave leadership and support of Fox for Shuri and Shuri for Black Widow. So it's the same, I'm not gonna go through the characters. CTP of Rage is the best for both Shuri and Black Widow. And let's go to Combat Female. Okay, what a day! In this day there is a lot of characters you could utilize and having similar scores, but the best thing for me is using Titania as a leadership with CTP of Raids, dropping here, doing her Awaken rotation, swapping into Valkyr, doing the same, do the main DPS with Valkyr with CTP of Raids, and swapping between these two. There is an here Sif has the provides you basically the CTP of Insight on this team, and I'm using this exactly team every single week. But there is this team also that could give you similar results and provide you perhaps even more score if you utilize She-Hulk's DPS, Titania's DPS and Valkyr's DPS. I've seen people doing even more, but in my opinion having Sif with a Insight is a better solution, because you can use Sif for other days like Combat Hero Day or you know, ABL. There is a lot of utilize on Sifs having an Insight and use here too. And it's really hard to build 3 characters with the CTP of Rage, so building just Titania, where you can utilize on Combat Villain Day also, and Valkyr, it's the best way in my opinion, and having a third with an Insight. So yes, in my opinion, this or Sif instead of She-Hulk is the best for these characters day. And we're finally into round 14, the last round. One round that everyone is using different characters and it's kind of confusing. But I'm gonna drop here some teams. I'm gonna drop here my team and super villain speed. It's a category that there is not a lot of huge DPSs that you can utilize him outside ABX. It's if you build a character for this day, you can't really use them everywhere else. But yeah, let's go and see. Okay, let's start from somewhere, and the start here is the team I'm using, and this team gives you the opportunity not having any Awaken character build it. You just need tier 2 characters. You could have Mystique as a tier 2, doesn't really matter. And Green Goblin here provides you 9.3, 9.4 million, easy peasy, with not any huge build. As you can see, gives him the opportunity to do more than 9 million really easy. From the other side, this is not the best on numbers team, but it's the cheapest and the team I use. There is guys using Electro here and Gamora and swapping in between Electro, Gamora. There is guys using Gamora and Corvus and as leadership Green Goblin or Black Cat. All of these choices are really similar. The scores are like from 9.1, 9.2 to 10.2, 10.3. But if you want to play something like this, triple swap, you can have some results from that, but you need like 3 full builds to have better results than the team I saw you. Yeah, I know it's a pain, but people is doing it, and whatever you choose to do, Black Cat is a really good leadership, Green Goblin is a really good leadership because provides to all others and all super villains and a passive ability. Electro has his own leadership, Gamora has her own leadership, so whatever you use, you're gonna have some results, but the cheapest way, I already saw you, the best character for DPS, perhaps it's Electro, but in my heart it's Green Goblin, even if he's not tier 3 or Awakened. So yes, everyone was waiting for it. So yeah, that was it, all the round 14 of ABX new meta and the characters you need to build for these days. There is of course some alternatives and some different builds you could utilize, but that's the ones I'm using, and I feel like it's the smartest way to take advantage of one character in multiple ABL and ABX days. So yeah, let me know your opinion down below in the comments as always, and don't forget to make sure that you are subscribed and you have smashed the like button. See you into the next. Until then, kisses in your face.